Hello and welcome to your 45-minute slow flow practice. Today we'll be focusing on opening and stretching the hips and really grounding down, staying connected to the earth and hopefully becoming quite restful and zen at the end with a nice long savasana. You don't need too much except a comfortable surface to practice on, and I do recommend having 2 yoga blocks or something similar like 2 heavy books or firm cushions. Starting with them at the top of your mat. If you don't have anything, that's okay, I will give options. We'll get started at the back of our mat in a child's pose, so hips to heels. Knees can be mat distance apart or hips distance apart. And if you do have sensitive knees in this kind of position, you can place a blanket or a cushion between the thighs and the calves. Inhale, lengthen through the spine here, growing tall. As you exhale, walk the hands forward, release the forehead towards the mat or maybe a block. And arms extend forward, begin spreading through the fingers and really rooting down here. Take a moment to land in your child's pose. Noticing where the breath is. And beginning to deepen the breath, sending it low into the belly. And exhaling through the mouth or the nose, nice and long. We'll introduce a count to this breath. So exhale wherever it is. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, pause. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take 2 more like that, inhaling for 4, exhaling for 6. And when you've completed the last round, release the count of the breath and rest back into your natural breath. Maybe noticing if it feels a little bit more slow, controlled, and deep. Inhale, coming up onto your hands and knees by rounding the spine and rolling up into this cat position. Chin is tucking towards chest. As you exhale, the tailbone lifts, chest shines forward, and sending the hips back towards the heels, lowering the forehead towards the mat. Inhale, rounding through the spine as you lift chin to chest. Exhale, tailbone lifts, chest opens for a moment. Head is the last thing to land on the mat. Inhale, lifting up, rounding the back of the spine. Exhale, tailbone lifts and is sent back towards the heels. 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale, flowing with the breath here. Final exhale, release back onto your heels. And then inhale, come back onto your all fours. Bring the knees parallel and feet parallel if they aren't already. Bring the weight of the shoulders over the wrists and press into the hands. Feel the finger pads, knuckles, and the heels of the hands all pressing down equally into the mat. And as you do so, feel the muscles of the upper arms engage. Pushing down, grazing the elbows alongside the ribs as you lower the stomach, the chest, and the head towards the mat. Bring the hands under the shoulders here so that the tops of the fingertips are in line with the tops of the shoulders. Feet are hip distance apart, or toes are touching but heels separate. Draw the elbows in towards each other, shoulders draw back and down towards the waist. Press into the tops of the feet and feel the kneecaps lift. As you inhale, press the pelvis down into the mat and draw the lower belly in and up towards the face. Exhale, chest and head lift. Bhujangasana, or cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, engage the core again. Exhale, lift. Inhale, stay. Exhale, release. One more like that. Inhale, engage, pressing the pelvis down, feet into the mat. Exhale, lift. Use the strength of the back rather than the strength of the hands pressing down to support you. Exhale, release back down. You can lower your arms by your sides, maybe a cheek to the mat. Release through the shoulders, the back. And then if that was enough for you, please do another 2 rounds of Bhujangasana. Otherwise, if you'd like a bit of a deeper back bend, draw the palms away from you so fingertips are extending towards the feet by your sides, palms facing down or up. Shoulder blades draw back and down. Feet are again either parallel, hip distance, or toes touching. Inhale again, press the pelvis into the mat and engage the core. Feel it lift off the mat slightly. As you exhale, arms lift, legs lift, chest and head lift. Shalabhasana, this is our cobra, our locust pose. Keep the shoulders relaxed and away from the ears. Keep the breath steady. Inhale one last time, get a bit longer. Exhale, release, other cheek comes towards the mat. Shoulders release down. You might like to knock the hips side to side here. Releasing through the lower back. And then bring the shoulders underneath, the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck through the toes, press through the hands and the feet as you lift your torso off the mat. Come through a 4-point kneel before sending the hips up and back, knees lift, downward facing dog. Maintain a generous bend through the knees here, so you're prioritizing length through the spine. From the hips out the crown of the head. Wrap the armpits in towards each other and keep pressing into the knuckles of the hands nice and firmly. Inhale here. Exhale, side out. Bring your gaze up between the hands. Create a bit more of a generous bend through the knees and begin to walk the feet up towards the hands, just behind the hands or between them. Coming into your forward fold, knees are bent as much as you need so that the front of the upper body can contact the front of the lower body. Head and neck hang heavy. You're also welcome to bring the hands or forearms onto blocks here to support you. If you tend to get dizzy with the head below the heart, you can also bring your elbows onto your thighs, palms into a prayer position, and use that as your variation of the forward fold. Inhale, wherever you are, halfway lift, so fingertips come to shins, thighs, or they stay on the mat or blocks. As the shoulders draw back and down, you lengthen through the spine, keeping the chin tucked towards the chest to maintain length through the neck as well. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, bend generously through the knees as you hinge up through the hips. Spine stays long as shoulders stuck above hips. Arms rise, maybe neck looks up. Exhale, hands come through heart like you're moving through honey and eventually come down by your sides into your Tadasana mountain pose. Find stability here. You can have your feet hip distance apart or again toes touching, heels slightly apart. Wherever you are, lift the toes off the mat for a second, spreading them wide, feeling the arches of the feet lift as you do so. And maintain that lift as you press the toes back into the earth, grounding all 4 corners of the feet. Shoulders draw back and down, chest is open. Chin is slightly in towards the chest, maintaining length through the neck. And there is energy coming out from the fingertips, keeping the arms nice and active here. Take one last moment here, maybe closing down the eyes, feeling into the strength and power of this posture. Inhale, open the eyes, arms rise up above the head, maybe gaze lifts if the neck allows. Exhale, hands through heart, bend the knees, hinge the hips, move through honey nice and slow as you can as you come forward into your forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, spine is long. Exhale, bring the fingertips to the mat, so bending the knees as much as you need to do so. And take a big step back with the right leg here. Lowering the right knee and untucking the toes. Bring your blocks by the mat so that they're easy enough to find in a moment. And inhale, arms rise up above the head. The left knee is just above the left heel here. And the left hip keeps drawing back as the right hip draws forward, so that we're bringing the pelvis to become parallel with the short edge of the mat in front of you. Bring the left hand to the left hip now, and as you inhale, extend out through the right arm, creating length through the spine. Exhale, right hand draws over towards the left as you find a side bend through that right side body. Notice the sensation in the hip here. Inhale, come back to center, left arm lifts in line with the right. And exhale, bring the fingertips back to the mat and draw the blocks in if you have them, otherwise just keep them on the mat. The blocks will create some more space through the chest and the torso for this flow. Inhale, open the chest, shoulders draw back and down. Exhale, straighten out through the left leg, toes point up towards the face, hips come back to come above the right knee. So if you need to drag that left heel out a bit further to find that alignment, please do so. Neck is long still, shoulders stay away from the ears. Inhale, coming back into your lunge. Exhale, Ardha Hanumanasana, left leg straightens. Maybe you fold forward slightly, but maintain length through the spine. Inhale, opening, lunging. Exhale, Ardha Hanumanasana. One more like that. Inhale to open. Exhale, folding back. Keep the legs where they are. Remove the blocks if you have them. And stay here for a moment before walking the hands over towards the long edge of your mat on your right side. Shimmy that right shin to be in line with the short edge of your mat, as well as the left foot. Bring the shoulders to stack above the hips here. Shoulders draw back and down and hands come towards hips. Inhale, both arms rise up towards the sky. As you exhale, left hand lowers towards the left leg and the right arm sweeps over, creating a rainbow through the right side body here. Keep opening up the chest towards the right. And maintain the breath, breathing into the side body, noticing again how you're feeling this in the hips. This is Parigasana, our gate pose, one of my favorite postures. Inhale, open up a little bit more to the sky. Exhale, sweep the right arm down in a circle and forward. Left arm comes parallel with that arm as you sink the hips back towards the heel. Forehead may come towards the mat. And coming into this child's pose variation of our gate pose. So the left foot is still parallel with the short edge of your mat. And we're finding sensation, hopefully, within this inner hip, left hip. You might also feel this through the lower back, the chest and the arms. Inhale, come up into a variation of our 4-point kneel, drawing the wrists back towards you so that they come underneath the shoulders. Take a Bidalasana, cat-cow here, so as you inhale, the tailbone lifts, shoulders draw back, chest opens. Exhale, tailbone tucks under, chin towards chest. Inhale, come back to center. Walk the hands to the back edge of your mat this time and shimmy that right shin back so that the knee is facing the back of the mat. Tuck both toes and press through the left leg and the left foot that's extended towards the back of your mat. As you come up into a 3-leg downward dog, right heel is sent back in space. Keep that right hip in line with the left. Inhale, right knee comes in towards the chest. Exhale, sending it back and up. Inhale, right knee comes to the outside of the right elbow, and the foot lands as quietly as you can on the outside of that hand. Lower the back knee here, untuck the toes. So in this wide-legged lunge, you're welcome to use blocks again. They might be under your hands on whichever level suits you, or maybe they're under your forearms. Try to keep length through the spine here though. So if coming down onto your forearms really creates this arch in your back, that won't be comfortable for long. So find a place, however high it is, where you can find that length whilst maintaining a nice opening through that right hip and left hip flexor, wherever that is. Learning here to observe sensation before evaluating and judging it, and before reacting to it. You're welcome to stay here if this is feeling really good, maybe swaying side to side slightly like I am. Or you can come up onto the left hand, probably onto a block. Send the right arm up and back towards the back foot, coming into a little twist here. Again, you can stay here, see how the sensation has changed. Or maybe you kick up that left foot towards the buttock, and maybe you grab a hold of that foot, otherwise just keeping that shin drawing in nice and actively. Keep twisting through the spine, opening the chest towards the right. If you have a hold of the foot, gently let it go, slowly with control, drawing the shin back towards the mat without slingshotting. Remove both blocks and walk the right foot in towards the center, coming into your normal lunge. Come onto the palms of both hands, which frame the front foot. Tuck the back toe and lift the back knee for a moment before stepping forward. Left foot comes to the right edge of the right foot, so that you're in this twisted forward fold. You may like to use blocks here, even if you don't use them in your traditional forward fold, because this can be quite a juicy stretch. But if you can, let the head and neck hang heavy, let the face be soft, and let the breath be long and slow. Maybe you extend the exhales like we did at the beginning of the practice. This allows activation of the parasympathetic nervous system response, which is responsible for our calm state, where we can digest our food the best we can, and where we can be ready to engage with others socially in a really curious, open way, when we're not reactive and impulsive like we would be when we're feeling anxious in that sympathetic nervous system response. Remove the blocks if you have them and begin to bring all your weight into that right foot. Imagine you're growing roots out of the sole of that foot deep into the layers of the earth. And bend through that knee as you lift the left leg up and begin to stand onto that right leg. Left knee comes in towards chest stalk pose, hands to heart. Stay for a moment, bit of a challenge for your balance. And then exhale, bring the left foot to meet the right, palms by your sides, Tadasana mountain pose, shoulders draw down and away from the ears. Coming onto the other side now, Open the eyes if they're closed. Inhale, arms rise up above the head slowly. Stay mindful with all of your movements. Exhale, hands come through the heart, bend the knees, hinge through the hips. Head and neck hang heavy once you reach your variation of the forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, neck is long. Exhale, fingertips come to the mat. Take a big step back with your left leg this time, lowering the back knee, untucking the toes. Chest lifts, arms rise. Inhale, extend through the fingertips. Exhale, bring the right hand to the right hip and draw the left hand over towards the right, opening through that side body, drawing the chest up towards the left. Keep active through the top hand and keep integrity through the legs, noticing if you've moved the hips out of alignment or if the front knee is splaying out. Keep it above the heel. Exhale, soften here. Inhale, both arms rise, coming back to center. Bring both blocks underneath the hands, if you have them, just behind the foot. Inhale, opening through the chest. Exhale, right leg extends, toes towards face, Ardha Hanumanasana. You can draw that right heel forward if you need. Inhale, opening through the chest, back to your lunge. Exhale, leg extends, Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, open. Exhale, folding forward, keeping length through the spine. One more, inhale. Exhale, releasing back. Removing the blocks. Staying on the fingertips for a moment, feeling sensation through the back of that right leg. And then bringing the fingertips over both to the left side of the mat. Swiveling that left shin to be in line with the short edges. And that left foot so that the toes are facing the side of your mat. Bring the shoulders to stack above the hips, hands to hips. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, right arm draws down softly on the right leg and left arm draws over, creating that rainbow C shape through the left side of the body. Keep the pelvis drawing forward rather than back here. Maintain the breath. Inhale, open the chest a little bit more towards the left. As you exhale, left arm sweeps forward, right arm follows, coming into that child's pose variation of Parigasana gate. Forehead moving towards the earth, noticing sensation in that right hip. And again, inviting that parasympathetic breath where the exhale is longer than the inhale. And notice how that changes sensation in the body straight away. Maybe you feel the heart rate lower just a little bit. Maybe you feel the body soften as you lengthen that exhale. Take one more breath. Inhale, coming into your variation of Betalasana, cat-cow, wrist draw back under the shoulders. Inhale, tailbone lifts, chest opens. Exhale, tailbone tucks under, chin towards chest. Inhale, back to center. Walk the hands back to face the front of the mat. Swing that left shin back so the knee is facing the front of the mat and tuck both toes here. Press into the right foot as you send the left leg up and back, downward facing dog or our three-legged dog. Left hip is drawing down to be in line with the right. Inhale, knee to chest, shoulders over wrists. Exhale, left leg up and back. Inhale, left knee, left elbow, and the foot plants on the outside of the left hand. Lower the back knee, untuck the toes. And again, you're welcome to invite some props under the hands or the forearms, prioritizing length through the spine. you're welcome to stay here, or if you'd like to take the twist, if you took it on the other side, right hand plants into a block or the mat, left arm extends forward, up and back towards the foot. Maybe you stay here, exploring this twist through the spine, seeing how that changes sensation through the hips and legs. Or maybe you kick up that right foot, maybe taking a hold, maybe that kick up is an active one. Keep drawing the left shoulder away from the ear and towards the back. And keep with that breath. Remind yourself to not judge sensation here. Just let it be something to observe and learn from. Release the foot if you've got a hold of it, gently bringing the shin back to the earth. Both hands release the blocks if they're there. Come to frame the front foot as it heel toes back to the center. Plant firmly through the hands. Tuck the back toe and lift the knee. And then step that right foot to the left edge of the front foot so that again you're in this twisted variation of Uttanasana. Maybe you invite the blocks again. And just notice the sensations here again. Stay within the body. Remove the blocks if they're there. Bring your weight into the left foot like you're creating roots into the earth. Begin to get light on the right foot as the knee draws up in towards the chest stalk pose, hands to heart. Stay here. Inhale, grow out of the crown of the head, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, right foot comes down to meet left, Tadasana. Arms by your sides, shoulders back and down. Plant firmly through both feet. Find equanimity through the body here. Notice how it responds to the movements you've just done. Closing down the eyes. Experience sensation from the inside out rather than from the outside in. Inhale, arms rise, opening the eyes if they're closed, maybe looking up towards the thumbs. Exhale, hands through heart, bend the knees, hinge the hips. Keep your movements mindful, focusing on their internal experience. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant both palms, bending the knees as much as you need to do so. And take as many steps as you need to step back into your downward facing dog. Spine is long, bending generously through the knees if you need. Armpits draw in towards each other. This is our last moment of active effort in the practice. So taking one clearing breath here. Inhale into the belly. Exhale, side out. Inhale, begin to get light on the right foot as the heel is sent up and back, three-legged dog. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, right knee, right elbow. Then the right knee comes down towards the right wrist. It's planted down and the left ankle sweeps out so that it's in line with the left wrist. The shin may not be parallel with the front of the mat. You can explore that, or maybe it's on more of a diagonal. Draw the left foot back so it's in a straight line behind you. Maybe look back to check on that. Inhale, open the chest, hands towards the torso. As you exhale, folding forward. Maybe your forearms come to the mat. Maybe you're still on your hands. Maybe your head rests on the forearms or a block. You may also like to bring a block under the right hip. That can be really supportive in encouraging some more softening there so that you're not holding on nice and tight. Instead, you can let go and actually find more of a release in this pose. And then this posture called Ekapadaraja Kapotasana is quite a challenge for our patients because it can be quite a strong sensation for a lot of us. when we stay with it and we observe the sensation, we're challenging our impulse to either escape it or judge it. So we come to stillness, and instead we send the breath into that place, slowly allowing it to soften without the rush, without frustration. Or if that comes up, we notice it and allow it to pass, instead of becoming caught up in it. Take 3 more long, conscious breaths here. Lengthening the exhale, coming into a state of openness, curiosity, and calm. On your next inhale, lift the torso up, walk the hands back towards the body, release the block from under the hip if you have it there, and plant the hands into the earth, tuck the back foot, lift the right foot to meet the left, downward facing dog. Take a moment in center, notice the difference between the hips and the legs. And then inhale, light on the left foot, sending the heel up and back. Exhale, stay pressing through the arms. Inhale, left knee, left elbow, lowers towards the wrist and onto the mat. Left ankle swings out, right leg extends out, Inhale, opening the chest. As you exhale, fold forward. Use any props that you did on the other side or that you think will be supportive for this side. And again, take your time, but eventually find stillness. A place where you can really melt into this posture and observe the sensation. Two more cycles of breath here. On the next inhale, lift the torso up, open the chest, remove any blocks, and you're welcome to come into down dog one final time if you'd like to release that way. Otherwise, you can come to sit on your left hip and swing the right leg around, coming into a seated position facing the front of your mat. Ensure you have space behind you to roll down the back, and bring one of your blocks by your side so you can reach it once you're lying down. Inhale, grab a hold of the shins and open the chest in a little seated cat-cow. Exhale, round through the spine, sit back on the tailbone, chin to chest. One more like that. Inhale, opening, maybe lifting the gaze. Exhale, rolling back on the pelvis, chin to chest, rounding through the spine. From here, continue the movement down, rolling down one vertebrae at a time, all the way into your back. Head plants into the earth. Bring your heels under the knees here and check if you can touch the back of the heels. If you can, draw them a little bit further away from the hips. Plant into all 4 corners of the feet here and press into the feet to lift the hips up, then bringing the block under the sacrum here. So either on the lowest setting or on the second setting. You can try the highest one, but that can be quite strong. You can also use a firm pillow here if you don't have a block, or even a rolled up blanket. If you don't have any props available, you can come into the active variation of this pose with the forearms pressing firmly into the mat, lifting the hips actively. In this passive supported bridge, you're also welcome to extend the legs out, pressing into the heels. If you do experience any pinching through the lower back, in this extended posture, bring the soles of the feet back onto the earth. You may like to clasp opposite elbows above the head, opening a bit further through the chest. And here, begin to close down the eyes if you feel comfortable, or at least soften the gaze. and really begin to settle into that internal experience of sensation. Call in that shoulder inhale and lengthened exhale to really soften into the body, into the mat, feeling release and lengthening through the belly, the hip flexors, opening through the chest and heart. Take 2 more breaths here. If the legs are extended, bring the soles of the feet back down onto the mat. Wherever you are, either lower the hips down 1 vertebra at a time or lift the hips slightly to remove your block first. And then bring the forearms down to the mat before you lower down, grounding 1 vertebra at a time, really seeing if you can feel that connection to the mat with each component of the spine before the hips lower down. Take a moment in neutral, bringing the edges of the feet to the edges of the mat and knocking the knees in towards each other. Maybe you open the palms up towards the sky, or maybe you bring 1 hand towards the belly, 1 to rest on the heart, to really keep that connection with your own body at the forefront. As you draw the knees in towards the chest and hug the tops of the shins, releasing through the lower back now, maybe massaging through the spine by rocking left to right or in circles. And then take this shape over towards the left, coming into a twist. You might like to shimmy the hips to the right a bit. And just in this gentle twist, left hand can come on top of the right knee and the right arm can extend out. Maybe you shimmy the shoulders so the right shoulder is really grounded onto the earth and you look over the right shoulder towards the fingertips, keeping the eyes closed or soft. Inhale, legs come back to center. Shimmy the hips over to the left, maybe by bringing the soles of the feet to the earth, and then bring that shape over towards the right side. Left arm extends long, the shoulder is grounded, and maybe the gaze comes over that hand, bringing the twist into the neck. Return to your slow, conscious breaths. Long exhale, conscious, mindful inhale. Inhale, legs come back to center. Release the soles of the feet to the earth. Hips come back to center. And then extending the legs nice and long, feet splay out. Arms take up space, palms facing up. Shoulders draw in towards each other to open through the chest slightly. And the neck is nice and long. Allow your awareness to settle completely in this moment. Don't rush away from it. Take a deep breath, filling every cell of the body. As you exhale, feel each point of contact you have with the mat melt deeper, get heavy. Inhale, filling every cell, expanding. Exhale, melting down, getting heavy, as if there is no difference between the back of your body and the surface of the earth beneath you. We will be here for a few minutes. I will guide you out when it's time. Begin to draw your awareness back into the body, remaining in stillness and just noticing where your awareness went in that time. Bring your attention back to the breath, filling the body with air, with prana, life force, and letting it go, feeling yourself soften into this moment with a sense of gratitude and appreciation for what your body can do, what it can feel. Begin to bring some gentle movements back, maybe wriggling the fingers and toes, taking a big morning stretch, maybe knees into the chest. Doing whatever feels good and keeping the attention inwards. Again, not rushing away from this stillness, but instead bathing in it, lengthening it out. Taking your time, come into a side-lying fetal position. The head can be supported by an arm. And when you're ready, coming up into a comfortable seat, maybe you lift the hips on a block or a firm pillow. Legs can be crossed, or you can be seated back on your heels. Draw the shoulders back and down when you get there, lengthening out through the crown of the head, sitting tall. Begin to rub the hands together, creating some heat between the palms. And then bringing one hand over the heart, the other stacked on top. Stay with that heat at the heart space. Keep your focus right there. Thank yourself for coming into your practice, into your inner world, and slowing down in a world where that's not the automatic thing to do. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.